Yeah, is it fine, Manjusha?
Yeah. Hi, Chandra. Good morning.
Good morning, Manjusha. My name is Chandrasekhar. Today, I'm going to present about remaining topics of FCCS practice guide. So let's get into the presentation once again. Is it my screen visible to you?
Yes, Chandra.
So today's topic is lesson 6 on FCCS practice guide, that is managing security. So for managing security, we need to overview, that is assigning access to account and then entity dimension members in this presentation right now. So in practice 6.1, how to assign the access to dimension members, we need to focus on this. So that let's get into the practice first. First, we need to give the EPM credentials. For that, we need to go to the home page of uh, application. So here our application, we need to give the credentials first. After login, we enter into the application homepage. Here we can see the navigator and then go to the dimensions. For that, here you mentioned we need to select the account dimension in dimension field. After that, we need to give the access to any particular member of that dimension. So navigator and then dimensions under create and manage. Click on this. So under dimensions drop down, we need to select account. For this FCCS balance sheet, I'm going to give the access. Click on actions. Click on assign access and actions button. So you can see some groups and users. We need to follow the guide first. So we need to assign the actions and actions drop down, and then we need to select the group to assign, to give the permission to that particular FCCS balance sheet. For that, we need to click on groups and then click on plus icon. Here we can give the service administrator with right access. So click on add. Here the access would be successfully assigned to that particular service administrator. So next we need to click on OK, close the drop down box. So here, okay, and then close this drop down box. So we have successfully assigned the service administrator right access for that particular balance sheet. After that, we need to give the entity dimension access. For that, we need to select entity dimension under dimension dropdown. Entity, select the entity. So here FCC total geography under segments, we need to give the EN0105 access. For that, here also they mention EN01_05. So we need to repeat the again 5 to 9 write permission to service administrator in that application. So that click on actions, assign the access for this as a security purpose, and go to the groups, click on plus button. So in practice guide, they said give permission to service administrator, service administrator with right access. So I have selected service administrator with right access. Here they can click on add. The signing was successful and then close. So here you can see that service administrator right access with EN01. So close this. With this, we completed the assigning access for the dimension members for account and entity. So next get into the practice numbers, lesson number 7. So defining valid intersections, which is act as a filters to eliminate the or to eliminate the check walls, or to eliminate the missing blocks. So go to the presentation once again here. So you can see practice 7.1, defining valid intersection. In this practice, we need to give or we need to create some simple valid intersections as per this practice guide. For that, we need to go to the home page once again. After that, go to the application cluster. We need to select the valid intersection card. So after giving the login credentials, we will land here on a home page. So click on application. Here you can see the valid intersection card. Click on that. So you can see a predefined valid intersections here. We don't have access to copy, or we don't have any right to delete for this. We just need to duplicate it only, so that we just edit that form. So for our practice purpose, we are going to create a simple valid intersection with the name of simple valid intersection. So first we need to create a valid intersection. For this, we need to give simple underscore valid intersection as a name of that particular intersection. So we need to select some anchor dimensions and non-anchor dimensions. Here they specify that anchor dimension, take it as a account as anchor dimension. So we need to add the dimension, account dimension. So this is the anchor dimension. For this, we need to enable the non-anchor dimension also. We have selected, and then we need to select entity for that per anchor dimension. So here we need to click again, add dimension. That is entity dimension. Here you can see this is anchor dimension because the anchor symbol was mentioned here. This is the non-anchor dimension which is supported to anchor dimension. So now we need to create or we need to add the rule for this dimensions for account. For account, they said operating income, and then here need to select the drop down. Sorry, click on this. Need to add role first. So click on add role. Click on this. Click on add. We need to search the operating income. Operating income. Hit enter. So here you can see the operating income. So they said operating income directly without any effects or without any changes to be made. So click on OK. Here you can see the operating income we have selected for anchor dimension. So and then next we need to follow the 11 to 12 steps. Account exists as part of selections, otherwise jump to the step 13. So we have already selected this, so that no need to take any actions regarding this. Now we need to give the entity tab as a en01. En01. So go to the application once again. For entity, we need to give the property or role. So here you can see the total geography under 18. You can see the en01. Select this en01. Click OK. So here you can see the operating income for account dimension, en01 for the entity dimension. So follow the guide once again. After that, we need to give effects for this en01 descendants, not including descendants, descendants. So once again, go to this, edit, the total geography, segments, en01, effects, descendants. We need to select the descendants. Click on OK. So here you can see the as per the guide, we have given all the details for valid intersections. So this is also no need to take any actions because We have selected all the required formats and click OK. Finally, click save. So we have created it and then save and close. Here you can see a valid intersection created successfully. Here it is enabled perfectly. So you can see here some edit options, delete option, move down, move up. These are all used as per requirement of the company. So here we conclude the valid intersection part here. And next go to practice number 8 lesson, loading data using data management. So in this practice, we need to overview over import data to FCCS application using data management, create import format, location mapping, data mapping, and then data load rule in order to export from our data management. So go to the practice number 8.1 part 1. So in this practice, we have to set up run the data load from data management. We need to start by creating importing format, so that we need to get into the application once again. For that, we need to give the APM login credentials. After that, go to the navigator. We need to select the data management under integrations. So click on application home button once again, go to the navigator. Here you can see the integration cluster. Under that, we need to select data management. For that, we can see separate window will be open here. So we need to get into the application, practice guide once again. So all are this selected and then open. We need to go to the setup option. Here you can see the workflow one and then setup tab. Under that, we need to go to the import format as per our practice guide. That is import format under. So under import format, we need to give the new rule for that import format. So name is if FCCS, designation is import format to load data, file type is delimited numeric data, file delimiter is pipe, then click to save. So go to the application, data management once again. So here it is the import format, click on add button. So we need to give if FCCS as a name of that particular import format. So next, need to give import for description as import format for data role. File type is delimited. Description format for data load. So file type is delimited and numeric data. Then delimiter is pipe. So here they said need all are given. So click on save. Save here. Our FCCS import format new one is saved successfully. And then the source file for the DM import made available in labs folder, so that we have already created one file for that import format. For mapping, we need to enter the details for this import format. We need to give some mapping details. Here account is 1, amount is 7 is amount, source column account 1, because we need to enable the application. We need to see the data form once again. Here are data form. So according to this, we need to give the mappings for that import format. Here you can see the entity under one account, intercompany data source, movement, and multi-gap target data. So for this, we need to go to the application once again. So entity is 02. Here we need to give as per our this one, so that entity is 1, account is 2. Entity 1. So next intercompany is 3. Data source is 4. Movement is 5. Data source is 4. Movement dimension is 5. So here this is entity is 1. So after that product is 7, and then target data is 8. Product is 7. Where is product? Yes, is here 7. Then amount is 8. So we need to give the well, data as the name of that source column. Data source for entity. We need to give entity as a data source. Entity currency not there. Intercompany. I'm giving ICP. So movement dimension MVMT. So there is no multi-gap here. We need here product. So we are given all the mappings for that import format. So mapping should be like following a screenshot, so that it will same as like said in guide. So we need to click on save. So our data import format was successfully created with the mappings. So go to the presentation once again. Next page, part 2. In this picture, we will create location mapping also we need to give. So for that, we need to select location under integration setup. So after that, we need to add the new location FCCS. Import format is if FCCS, and then we need to click save. So click new. Name is LOC FCCS. Import format we need to search. So if FCCS, click OK. Import format has successfully selected, and then we need to click save. Location for that import format was successfully created. LOC underscore FCCS. Go to the presentation. Under part 3, we need to give mappings for dimensions. Click on data mapping in workflow tab. Workflow tab. Data mapping. So here you can see some of the account dimensions are there. We need to give dimension properties. So go to the presentation. So click on location FCCS to change the POV. Sorry. Location FCCS. FCCS. Need to give the some of the credentials what are given. So enter the following details. We need to give the following details here. LOC FCCS Jan 20. Period is Jan 20. Reset Jan 20. Search. Category is actual. We need to click on save. So here you can see the period as Jan 20. Let's go to the presentation once again. So we have again local FCCS and then Jan 20, and then we have selected OK. After that, we need to perform mapping for account dimension with these values. So similarly for we need to enter entity as these values. So account dimension value star star AC ACC MAP MAP. For entity also we need to give the same value to give same value. Entity also we need to give same value. Click on add star. Role name is entity map presentation. Similarly, we need to give the intercompany period ECP map, prod map. Sorry, that is for a product as well as intercompany. So select intercompany once again, intercompany. Click on add, give the value as star. So star indicates the entire value of that particular dimension. ICP map. So again, click on product, click on add, star, star, map. Presentation one side. So all are details given for data load mappings. So we need to save this file. Click on save. So part 4 is in practice, we need to create data load rule. So under data load rule in workflow, we need to select data load rule. We need to create a new load rule for by adding this. The name is DL FCCS, data load rule for FCCS. I need to click on save. So under data load rule, click on add. Name is as per guide, we need to give DL FCCS. DL underscore FCCS. Description is data load rule. Load rule. So we need to click on save. Save. Data load rule was successfully created here. So then we need to give, click on executive. We need to give the application. So click on this, to click on execute. So this pop-up will be appear. For that, we need to check the details. So we need to enable this import input source, export as a target, and then we need to select the file, and then this is replace and then merge. So imports, then export to target. Here you can see the replace and merge as a default one. And then we need to select the file for uploading. So import file, so that So, we need to select the file name here. So upload here, here you can see the data file is there. So click on upload, click on choose file. In the desktop, we have a data 4 file with us. Close this first, open, click on OK. So here you can see selected the format, click on OK. So all the details are given and then file also selected for import format. So file is selected and then we need to click on OK. After that, we need to run the rule. So click on run. So process has been submitted for extraction. Process ID is given here 2501. So go to the presentation once again. So here our process was successfully loaded here. So we need to refresh the data whether it is executed correctly or not. Go to the application. Okay. Hit the refresh. Hit the refresh once again. After that, after the status was okay, we need to check these process details whether it is any errors occurred or not. So for that, we need to go to the data load workbench to view the imported file whether it is any errors are there. So here you can see the file is exporting once again. Refresh it once. The data. Go to the workbench now. Workload bench. Sorry. Here that is the file was executing. Status was unknown. Some of the process was successfully completed, that is import and then export data. Transform and stage balance was not executed. Here some of the changes was to made. So for that we need to check on which details need to. By this way we can check the data load whether it is uploaded or not. Data load in workbench. So you can see this format in data load rule. So here the process was correctly imported. In order to, after completion of this work, in order to see the exported data in our application, we need to navigate into the home page and then rules. Then we need to launch the consolidation rule. So go to the application once again. Go to the navigator. Go to the rules. For this, we need to check consolidation rule. So click on launch. Need to give the details for that entity EN01. Period is Jan, scenario is actual, year is FY20. EN01, period is Jan, scenario is actual. Done. Okay. Here is FY20. Okay. So we need to launch this. Our rule was processing. Go to the presentation. We have given all the details here. So now click on data card, expand the FCCS income statement folder once again, like this. Consolidation rules were successfully completed. FCCS data under data. CCS income statement. CCS income statement, expand this. After the expansion of this, we need to select income period by period. By period. So here you can see the POV actual FY20 periodic EN0105 or translated currency data input. Data source is no data. This POV will be appear after executing the exporting the data from data management. Here this is the specifies this. These are the POV. You can see here also. These are the POV for that data file. So we need to enter the details and the dimensions. So we need to click on OK. Here dimensions. Yes, all are we have already selected. These are all the POV for year is FY20. We is periodic entities 05. All are mentioned here. Like we can see here, we just given the simple data. So need to check. No need to check all the details. By this way, we will enter the data in our data management by importing or exporting through data management of data. So with this, we come to end with the data management, how to enter the data in FCCS application. So next get into practice lesson number 9, managing data. How to manage the data, and then how to import the data, and then how to export the data in POV, how to copy, and then how to clear the data in our FCCS application cubes. So in 9.1 practice, importing data file from a file. So in that, we need to get into the application once again. So click on home button. So we'll land here in home page, click on application and cluster, and then overview card. Click on application, click on overview here. So here we can see this some cubes and the rates data over here, and then go to the actions menu. So here you can see the data, and then export data, import data, copy data, clear data, all are presented in actions menu. So as per our guide, so we need to go to the actions and then import data. File name is import data.csv. So we need to click on import data, click on create. File name, selected, click on the foot page. So we need to give, we need to take the data load 4. Okay, select it. Date format not required, and then accumulation not required. Now select a local file and file type is comma delimited. Validate it. Validation completion. Import job was successfully completed. Import data. So we need to check in job section. It will take time to on the job section. Here some errors are occurred by click on this data. So unclassified, unable to set temporary driver members, and then cannot find a cube name. So after that, we need to, if any errors occur like this, we need to rectify it at a time, and then we need to again execute that particular file. So after that completion of the importing data, we need to get into the copy or clearing the data of that particular data file in FCCS application. For that, we need to go to the home page again, application cluster, overview, and then actions menu. Close this. So go to the application, overview, Again, we landed here for actions menu. Click on copy data. So we need to give here some mappings for actual to target. So here copy the data and then we need to give some scenario like actual year is FY20 period is Jan, entity is 05 to 06. Data source is FCCS data input. So we need to give the scenario actual FY20 period is Jan, entity is EN01 underscore 05. So data source is no data. Data source is FCCS data input. So we need to give the FCCS data source. Click on this. Data source. Source entity is also there. This is total data source. Click on OK. This data input we need to select. Click on OK. All are selected. We need to run the. Need to click on save for this. Save. The different destination is there. Destination. To confirm to run the load role. So job was successfully submitted to console screen. We need to check it in job section. This the job section. We can verify here. You can see this activity was successfully completed. So the data was successfully copied for next year. That is FY21. So we need to uh, clear data also. So we need to again go to the application. Click on overview. Click on this. So go to the actions menu. So click on clear data. Under this, we need to create. So here is actual period is FY20 Jan, entity EN01 underscore 05. Destination is same as for data source. Go to the total input and adjusted data input. Click on this. Click OK. All are selected. We need to run this once again. Click on yes. The job was successfully submitted. Cancel this first. So go to the job section once again. So here you can see the clear data job was successfully completed, and then the data was successfully cleared in our application also. So here our 9-2 practice lesson was successfully completed. So next we need to get into the managing forms. So in this topic, we learn that how to create the forms, how to enter the data in forms, how to find the access for that forms. In practice 10.1, how to create the forms. For that, we need to log in into our cloud once again. Home page, navigator icon. We need to select forms under create and manage. So go to the home page once again. So click on navigator. So here you can see the forms under create and manage. Click on this. So here you can see the various forms are predefined under this area. We need to create a simple form. For time being, I have created one form under data folder. So we need to give this details data entry for that form has a name, and then data entry purpose. We need to click on select that data folder. We have created some data entry. So edit it. So here we have given data entry as a name, and then data entry purpose of that form. And then go to the layout once again, and then so on the layout page, we need to arrange the dimensions in POV, page, rows, and columns. Here in POV, view, intercompany, currency, multi-gap product was specified. So here I have given some period, entity, sorry, entity here, that is a currency. Here it is the multi-gap. Here is the product. Here it is the intercompany. So in page and rows columns also, we have specified that years, period, scenario in various dimensions in page, and then rows we have to specify movement and then entity. So under column, I've given the entity, under rows, account and movement. So for that, so all the specifications are given. So we need to add one more row for account and movement dimensions, so that I have already entered the one more column, sorry, one more row for the account and the movement dimension here. So next we need to specify the dimension members for that particular POV or page or rows and columns. So for first we need to look into the POV section. So for view, we need to give periodic view, currency, entity currency, intercompany is no intercompany, product is no product, multi-gap is a local FCCS gap. So here under POV, for period, I have given FCCS periodic. For currency as entity currency specified in practice guide. So for intercompany, I have selected no intercompany. For multi-gap, I have selected local gap. So for product, I have selected product as well as no product, because we need to look into the difference between products. So in page dimensions, we need to give years, scenario, and then consolidation period, data source. So for that, for years, I have selected children, because every time we don't want to change the year name or year FY21, FY22 like that. So I have selected children of that particular dimension members of years. And then scenario was actual, always FCC in FCCS scenario always actual. So that in period, I have given year total of descendants like January, February, March, April. If we select children of years, we need to select descendant of that particular children, that particular year also. So as the practice guide, we have specified all these properties in our specified form for consolidation, FCCS contribution descendants, for data source, FCCS total data source descendants, all are selected. So after that, we need to look into the rows and columns. Here on movement dimension, we need to give changes due to issues of stock for first row. So first row, we need to give due to changes in issue of stock, and then I have selected both of them. So here you can see the common stock as well as movement dimension issues of the movement dimension. So for row 2, we need to give current assets. for movement dimensions. So I given the movement changes in assets. So I given the fixed assets here for account dimension because we need to look into the FCCS under movement dimension. I mean, difference between movement dimension net changes in assets, account for account dimension. We need to give the fixed assets for comparison purpose. So after that, all of the given for entity, we need to select the consolidation entity. So because we don't have a much data in this, so I have selected EN0105 as our entity. So all the rows and columns given the properties like moment dimension as well as the entity dimension. So we need to save for this form, and then we need to give the business rules for this form, data entry form. So consolidation rule we need to give. For that, we need to go to the business rules. So here I have selected the business rules like console rule, consolidate, console rule, translate, because in every FCCS form we have to give default that consolidation and translation, because then only it will be implemented properly. So need to click on save. Form has saved successfully. So for timing, we need to preview this form. So here you can see some of the POV like period view, and then entity currency, all of them. For entity N0105 New York, we have selected common stock and fixed assets because we need to see the time being purpose only. It was selected. So cancel this and then click on finish. Our form was successfully created. So again here they specify that we need to create another form by editing the old form like this. If we edit this once again, we need to click on save as second form, so that save the form is saved successfully into the second form. So we need to give save as. So we need to give the data entry 2. So click on save. Okay, the form was successfully saved in the name of data entry 2 here. So you can see the data entry 2. So click on this, edit it, and then specify it as per the practice guide. Here they said we need to delete the one row for that form. So here in layout, we have two rows. So we need to delete this row. Delete this row. So delete this row, and then we need to give these specifications, and for that application 2, sorry, form 2. Sorry. After that, we need to enable the properties of this second form, grid properties. We need to enable the surplus missing blocks in rows, and then need to click on save and finish. So for this form, under grid properties, so we need to enable the suppress the missing blocks of rows. So we need to save this form again. Here also are specified the business rules for this form also, because we need to specify the business rules every form. So our time being purpose. So let's click on finish. So all the data forms are created successfully, simple data forms. So in 10.2 practice, we need to assign the access for that particular forms. For that, we need to give the access for these forms. Just click on data entry form. So here there is two ways to assign the access form. Here there is a pivot. Click on assign access and also click on actions. We need to here you can see the various properties to assign. Here I click on access. So as per guide, we need to go to the groups tab. And then we need to add, after that, we need to give a service administrator with the right access. So go to the groups tab, click on plus icon. So, we are giving this form for service administration with right access. So click on add. So successfully given the assign the access to this service administrator. You can see in the groups, service administrator have the right access for that form. Close. So close the dialog box and then close this form. So with this, we have concluded the today's topic for various topics like managing our security access, assigning forms, and then creation of forms, using data management, importing the data. After that, we have defined the valid intersections also. With this, we have concluded the session. Thank you, Manjusha.
Thank you, Chandra. You can leave now, Chandra.
Okay, Manjusha. Thank you.